connected do you feel to the people in your life? At home, at work, in your community, in this room? We all need each other. I mean, how has your own personal understanding for the need and potency of human connection in your daily life, how has that changed these last 20 months? We all need to connect, to see, and be seen. And yet, if I were to ask you to turn to the person behind you and form a meaningful connection with them in 30 seconds, do you think you could do it? Now, in case you think 30 seconds isn't long enough, consider that a barista is asked to complete a transaction and connect with the customer in a goal window time of, say, 26 seconds. It is possible. I know this because I do it. You see, I am a master of human connection. And I earned this mastery, as all mastery is earned, through practice. 175,000 opportunities to practice connecting with the person in front of me at the drive-through window. On average, 70 people an hour come through the window. 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year, 5 years. 175,000 opportunities to practice connecting to the human in front of me. The ripple of this practice in my life, well, this stage, and regularly I dance in the streets. You might have saw me yesterday on King Street. I am the kind of person that people say, man, I want what she's got. And they're not just talking about my dance moves. But what about the ripple in the 175,000 people that I serve? Like the young woman who pulled up one morning in her little red Prius and she said, yesterday I had a job interview. And I went into that job interview confident and positive because of you. And I got the job. Well, I got the job via one of life's curveballs. And while it wasn't where I wanted to be, nor ever expected to be at that point in my life, I was raised to always do my best. And so I set out to be the best barista that I could be. And I knew that that was two things. That was operational, like transactional, and that was human. And I knew that I was going to be great at the operational things. But I was surprised to learn I wasn't so good at the human. I had designed and facilitated customer service training programs. I was instrumental in the restaurant that I managed, earning a Distinguished Restaurants of North America award. I was kind, I was courteous, I was polite, but by no means was I feeling connected to anyone. And so I set out to find a way, a path, a system that would enable me to connect with every customer. And I'm so excited today to share this with you in hopes that you can use this in your life, this same practice. But before I do that, I have a few insights that I think will be really helpful. And the first is, this is about feeling connected. This is not about being connected. This is a human thing. Me, human, standing here, saying, I see you. I see you. I see you. And hope that somewhere along the way, you see me too. But the beautiful thing is, you don't even have to see me. Yale professor and author of the Happiness Track, Emma Sapala, says that this benefit of connection is internal and subjective, meaning the more you feel connected to another, you experience all the benefits of that connection. Benefits, she says, like lower levels of anxiety and depression and higher self-esteem. This is also not about who you connect with. This is about connecting how many people you connect with. So if you feel connected to Joe the painter, that is just as beneficial to you as if you feel connected to Joe the president. It's about how many people. This is an internal numbers game. And you know where you can get the numbers and the practice? The easiest place is in transactional settings with strangers. People that park your car, pour your drink, serve your food, drive through a window. So how do you do it? Well, the first thing you do is you show up, present to the moment. Put the phone down, forget about all those things going on in your head, and be present. Recognize that there's another human standing in front of you. And then you have to be willing to be your true, authentic self, willing to be seen as that. You smile, you look people in the eyes, and you attempt to see them regardless of what they looked, sound, or act like, as yourself. Yeah, turns out that knowing what to do doesn't make doing it any easier. In the beginning, I had trouble even smiling. I know it might come as a surprise, but you know what? I didn't have very much of a zest for life. I had let disappointments and fears, anxieties, insecurities, and scars of abuse get me to the point where it was like a new day. Woohoo! Yippee! So every day when I went to work, I would think about one thing that I had to smile about. My beautiful daughters, my husband, Miles the border collie, the sunrise, and I'd go to work and I'd smile. And whenever you smile, even when you're forcing it, you start to feel better. But the real work was in this authenticity, the whole see and be seen. Because, I didn't want anybody to see me. I believed that all of the curveballs and mistakes and failures and the size of my bank account were proof that I was not worthy, that I was a second-class citizen and often just bad. I didn't want anybody to see that. At the same time, I kind of had this feeling that if I looked you in the eye, you would know what I was thinking. And I don't know about you, but what I was thinking about people usually wasn't very nice. It kind of sounded a little bit like, really? You want a half a Splenda in your coffee? So I recognized that I had a whole bunch of work to do. I needed to heal the relationship I had with myself. And I also needed to take control of all of the narratives that were going on in my head. So at home, I started taking long walks in the woods, and I questioned everything I believed about myself and about the events of my life, about why they happened. And at work, I did what I do best. I made a game out of it. I learned this in my very first job, picking strawberries at the age of 7. And there in my hand-me-down Wrangler jeans, I would kneel down in that cold Oregon morning dew, and I would pretend that the rows were about ready to be destroyed by an incoming bomb, and I needed to get out all of the people, the strawberries, out as fast as possible into this transport vehicle, the flat. So for this current connection challenge, what I did was I decided to create a character. And this character was my authentic self. the one that I envisioned in those walks in the woods. And she was this beautiful alchemy of all that I am, every bit love and light. And man, I wanted everyone to experience the dancing lady because she was super rad. You know, she was like, always had a smile and a little groove. She always believed the best about everyone. And she would make sure that you knew how to have the most amount of fun in the day. Man, when I started being the dancing lady, good shit started happening. Like, really, I started to see myself as this beautiful masterpiece and recognizing that, man, if I'm a beautiful masterpiece, that means you are, and you are, and you are. We're all that. And I started seeing all the people in front of me as these beautiful masterpieces, except when I didn't, because I'm human. And so when I had trouble connecting with someone, not feeling connected to them, I would ask myself, did you show up as the dancing lady, or did you show up as wounded Karen? And with those narratives in my head, I'd ask myself, what would the dancing lady say? Now, this whole practice, this charade, if you call it, came in really handy the last 2 winters. The last 2 winters, I had the great pleasure of directing lift line traffic at a ski resort on Mount Hood. And while my colleagues were saying, "Put your mask up," I just smiled at people and said, and they went, "Oh yeah," and put their mask up. Or when somebody appeared to be cutting in line, I wouldn't get mad at them. I'd say, "Oh man, I know you're excited to get up there, but your turn's coming real soon." It also helped me heal some pretty major wounds. Early in my first season on the mountain, I had this encounter with this gentleman who, well, he just questioned about my ability to do my job. Kind of thought I was doing a little bit too much dancing. And I responded to him with daggers in my words, in my eyes, and in my heart. I was mad. I was mad because I saw that man as my father. And I love my father dearly. And he is a beautiful, beautiful human. But like all beautiful humans, he has his weaknesses. At the age of 16, after a very frightening and traumatic encounter, my father found it necessary to give me a lesson in situational awareness. As if I should have known that the man inside the Winchell's donut shop was a serial killer. Yeah, I had some pretty strong feelings around this. And so I set out to work through that. And a couple weeks later, I had a similar encounter with a similar gentleman. And I looked at him and I smiled and I said, "I got this." And inside, what I was saying was, "Oh man, I do hope you can let go of whatever it is that keeps you so uptight and angry. And I hope you can have a little fun." Because they sure didn't look like they were having fun. And I know my dad doesn't look like he's having a whole lot of fun a lot of times. I hope you can have a little fun. And when I started this approach with my dad, my relationship with him just blossomed. And I had been trying for 40 years to let go of that anger. And just like that, it was gone. This practice has been a silver lining in my life. But at the same time, I feel like it's also given me this beautiful, beautiful gift that I have to offer to you, to anyone. To know that you can, it is possible to feel connected to absolutely every person you encounter. And the practice of doing that, well, the ripple in your life, in the organizations that you're part of, in your communities, in the world. It is my personal mission now to make sure that every person that works in a frontline essential job of service is introduced to this practice so that they can use their own 175,000 opportunities to earn a mastery in this soft skill of human connection. Imagine the ripples of that. It is my great hope at this point that you're kind of thinking, that lady seems pretty happy. I think she might be on to something. I think you might want to practice this in your life sometime, maybe tomorrow, maybe later today. If you're competitive, I'll remind you that this is an internal numbers game. How many people are here? You look around. Well, that's a whole lot of feeling connected at the end of the day. So how are you going to do that? You're going to step into the moment. You're going to be present to the moment. You're going to show up as your beautiful masterpiece, authentic self. You're going to smile. You're going to look them in the eye. You're going to see them as a beautiful masterpiece of creation, just like yourself. I am you. You are me. And yeah, we're truly all in this together. I love you all. Happy day. Happy day. Thank you.